Ciao, everyone. Happy Saturday. Hope you're having a great day no matter what day it is. I'm Esther.
I'm Alfred.
And welcome to our You, Me, and Sicily YouTube channel, where we come to you every week talking about things happening here in Sicily. And let me tell you, there's lots happening. But maybe if you're a new viewer, we also have cooking demos. We also talk about festivals, and we travel the island, bringing you the stories of the people, places, history, and culture of Sicily. How's that for a presentation?
That's her. I don't do anything.
All right. So what are we going to talk about? First of all, the situation here in Sicily. We're going to talk about some of you guys left some comments for us on our last video, which was travel tips. What else are we going to talk about?
The weather. Let's talk about the weather.
Let's talk about the weather. It's starting to get nice here. It's April, early April. What do you think? 65 today?
No, it's not 65.
Feels like 65, but we have a beautiful day today. Thank goodness. Etna's been erupting as well, right?
You know what I've been doing all week? This is honestly, I've been picking up my ceiling, which has fallen to the floor, because all our walls here got ruined because of the deluge that we had a couple of weeks ago, which stopped up all the drainage pipes with the ash from Etna. I don't want to hear about how good the ash is from Etna. I don't want to hear about it.
Not good for us right now.
Because it soaked our walls and ceilings, and as they dry, they come flaking off. And all I do all day long,
both of us,
is
either
pick the
cleaning
damn
the
stuff.
ashes outside or inside. And this week, you know, just how much the crops are being affected. I brought home a head of lettuce, and I had to throw half of it out because there was so much ash in it. But having said that, this is also thanks to Mama Etna. Take a look at the size of these.
Strawberries. The strawberries came out this week, and you know, when I see a big one, I'm saying they're not going to taste good. These guys were very, very good. Yeah. These are the first crop, and they're very, very good.
Very big and very good.
How much did they cost? Do you remember?
This box here, and so I'll show you guys what it looks like. A carton here that was €4. So if they're the first ones, they're usually a little bit expensive.
three a day. I have 3 a day. They last about. Strawberries don't last that long. You know, you can't. Yeah. It's not like an apple. So about 3 a day, and then that'll be gone. I put them in my cereal in the morning. It's very, very good. And also today, I had a kiwi. Is that what it's called?
Kiwi? Yeah, kiwi.
They have kiwis here, which is very, 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 very juicy.
Very juicy.
So,
Sicilian kiwis taste a little bit different than the kiwis we're used to in the United States.
That's for sure. Very much delicious.
Juicy, and they're bigger. All right.
They're just chock full of vitamin C, too.
So let's address some of the comments we had on our travel tips video that we published a few days ago. One of the things someone said, why don't you guys talk about foot hair? Because we talked about footwear.
I always wear footwear. I wear socks and shoes. What about you?
Footwear when traveling.
Oh,
so let me tell you guys, you have to wear something comfortable. Now, it's so interesting here in Italy and Sicily. All the women are wearing heels like this, and I don't know how they walk around on those cobblestone streets, right? But if you're coming here and you're going to be walking a lot, bring comfortable shoes, right? Let me see. One of the things. Not
only comfortable shoes coming here, but on the plane, because your feet are gotta get wider.
Yeah.
Because of
shoes. These are the most comfortable shoes I have. They're kind of stylish. They're called flip-flops. They're kind of stylish. They have little shimmers over here, but they're very, very comfortable. Now, you can also wear sneakers. Why not?
You know, I'm a Skechers guy. I like Skechers because they're air cooled and I buy the light ones, so you can they're not too heavy. Mm-hmm. I have about seven pairs of Skechers. I cannot wear New Balance anymore, and I cannot wear Nike anymore.
Yeah, usually people's feet change over the years.
Yeah, my feet probably expanded because I'm so fat, but whatever. So I just got rid of all my sneakers, and I really like Skechers. And I even bought my first 2 pairs of, I guess you can call them, dress Skechers, you know.
Now, listen, you just said you're fat, which you are not. And can I tell our audience that Alfred has lost over 20 pounds in the past 3 months? He's doing
but I haven't dieted. I'm on this intermittent fasting thing, you know, where I'm only eating from noontime till 5.
And he is disciplined, let me tell you.
I do my 5 miles every day.
All right, so let's go back to the travel tips. The other thing that someone wanted us to remind people, besides making sure your passport is updated and you have your medications and note from the doctor, is that you get an international driver's license, and you can get that in the United States, a AAA, right?
Yeah, you can get a AAA, or you can even get it online now. Okay, you have to, because what happens if you try to rent a car here, make reservations from Hearst, and they don't really tell you this. They won't let you rent a car here unless you have an international driver's license. And if you're driving around and you get stopped by the cops, then you're going to get a fine because you don't have an international driver's license. So,
and sometimes some
it's
companies
not really
don't
a
give
license.
you one, right?
It's really, the technical name, is an international driver's permit.
Yeah,
is really what it is. They let you drive here, but listen, speak English. If you get stopped by the cops, play like Mickey the Dunce. Hi, I'm an American. Yeah, here's my passport. There, just between me and you, if the police hold you for more than 20 minutes to an hour, they have to contact the American embassy. So they usually keep the stops short.
Yeah.
So just don't give them a hard time.
All right. The other thing, so we were in Catania the other day, and there was an outdoor old bookseller. I love those. Going into wine stores and looking at wine bottles and bookstores are my two favorite things. So anyway, he had a big array of books for sale. And so I picked up this Sicilia guidebook. And what's really great about it, and the reason I'm talking to you about this is because this is before you come to Sicily. I highly suggest picking one of these up. Of course, they have them also in English. AAA has this one from English, but this is an old one. Because these books are chock full of information. Like this one, for instance, has sections where it goes from province to province. It talks about the typical foods in the province and also gives you a recipe. So before you come here, I say educate yourself about Sicily. You don't want to watch a book. If you want to read a book, watch one of our videos. We've got tons of educational videos from all over Sicily, right?
The other thing that I still have after 20 years, I still have my phrase book. I think it's from Berlitz.
Yeah.
I paid like $15 for it. And I used to put it in my back pocket, Dove Bagno, if you have to go to the bathroom and just look it up.
Just basic stuff.
But it's really good. They're phrases, it's not it's not going to be complete sentences. I think that the more if you can learn the basic stuff before you come here, obviously, I know that guys like Jimmy's here. Hey, Jim, before I forget, I need your address, okay? I want to send you some books because of your generous contribution to the Sicilian Project, and I hope you're feeling good, too.
And to You, Me, and Sicily.
And
you made a contribution to You, Me, and Sicily on our GoFundMe, so thank you,
Well,
Jim.
no, I'm going to give him a set of books.
Yeah.
And by the way, did you know that Peter Schiapoletti
had a birthday
this week?
Happy birthday. All right, on that note, let's say hello and Buona Pasqua. How can we forget?
Wait a minute. Chris Cornelio had a 25th anniversary.
Joe and Sue are here. Anne Marie Watt is here. Jim.
Anne Marie, look at this shirt. Wait a minute.
Love it.
Don't go so fast.
Okay.
Anne Marie, see this shirt? Does this look familiar? Her husband, Mike, gave it to me just a couple days ago when we went over there. Thank you. And it fits perfectly, by the way.
Angelo, buongiorno, buona Pasqua for everyone.
Christine, Frankie and Chrissy, 25 years married.
Kellemes ünnepet. That's in Hungarian.
What does that mean?
Happy Easter in Hungarian. You know my favorite thing to say all year round? Happy Easter from Esther.
That's a pretty good one. My brother Tommy used to go out with a girl. Her name was Shirley Smeester. Shirley Smeester. So we used to say all the time year round, Happy Easter, Shirley Smeester. And to this day, we still say it, even though they broke up when he was like 15 years old.
What's Mama Cooking For Us is here. She's got a great YouTube channel with some nice recipes. Nice hat, Alfredo.
Thank you very much.
What's in the glass?
Today I'm having a Campari on ice. That's nice. It's a good after dinner digestive. I didn't feel like the weather's kind of funky. I didn't feel like having.
Look, it is 66. I knew it was
66 in Catania right now, Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
Did you pay Peter to do that?
Sorry about that.
Anyway, I'm having Campari. I like Campari. Spritzers. I like Campari on ice. It's a good, good go-to drink for me in there.
I saw Sean Lewis is in the house.
Sean Lewis, I mailed your books out, brother. Keep an eye out.
Ciao, Sue Walker. Buona Pasqua. Hugs from Dallas. Jerry Denobese. Oh, look who's here. Roseanne is here. Good morning.
Rosanna. I love her.
Hey, I want to know, what are you guys doing for Easter? What are you having for your Easter meal? That's what I want to know.
Ask me.
No, wait a second.
We already had
Easter because we are in a lockdown now, starting today, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. All of Italy is in a red zone. So we went to our good friends Anne Marie and Mike's house, and they made she made roasted lamb and rosemary potatoes.
You know what Anne Marie did that I really liked? She told us how she cooked the lamb. She put it in the oven and she put it on, I think she said 40 degrees Celsius, which is like a couple hundred degrees. And she cooked it for a bunch of hours. She put a nice coating on it.
Yeah, I think 6 or 8 hours.
6 or 8. And believe me, the lamb fell off the bone. And then we brought up a palumba cake. And
an egg.
Well, wait a minute. Let me talk about the palumba cake.
Uva de Pasqua.
And then what we did was Anne Marie and Esther, they put on top of it, I believe it was chocolate syrup.
No.
And pistachio, crema di pistachio.
It came with the crema de pistachio.
What did?
The colomba.
Okay, so anyways, she put them together. The crema di pistachio, chocolate, and then palumba cake, and strawberries as well. So it was a great, we didn't feel like it was Thanksgiving. Her potatoes were good too.
Delicious.
And the best thing about it was on Thursday, there was no stress because Friday morning driving home, okay? And, the cops are out.
Everywhere.
When I mean the cops are out, I mean they were out in Nicolosi, Padara, Tricastagni, Via Grande, Acicatena, almost on every major intersection. And then, of course, today, not only do they have the cops out, they have the Carabinieri.
They've got drones. They've got helicopters. I mean, we're on lockdown.
They don't want you to,
Now, so here's the thing with the red zone that's different from Christmas is that we are allowed to leave once a day to friend or families in your region. You're not allowed to go from region to region, but only for those 3 days. But you have to have a certificate, an auto certificate that you print out, and you have to fill out your name and the reasons why you're going. And you can't have more than 2 people, not including people under 14. No. So it's like, why even bother?
Pat, that went into effect 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You're lucky you didn't get stopped. International driver's license. AAA has them. They're about $27.
We've got people from all over.
They're good for a year. Yeah.
I want to know where you guys are watching from. Okay. Happy Easter, Leonard Storm. You're so optimistic about tourism. I am.
Well, right now, there is no tourism.
Right. But going forward.
Going forward, there will be.
Send a Pizza Man. Morning, everyone. Greetings from Chicago. Where are you guys watching from?
The Deep Pan Pizza.
Okay.
Great place. Morton's of Chicago.
Now, let's see. Angelo says we're having a roast leg of lamb with fava beans, celery, and herbs from the garden with probably potatoes and carrots.
That
sounds great.
We had some fava beans. They came out this week, or last week, I think, right?
Yeah, a few weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. And I started to eat them raw, right? And she was looking at me. She was like, "You're gonna get sick. You're gonna get sick." I'm like,
"No,
my whole life we ate them raw.
I just never.
We used to open up the the stalks and just pop them in your mouth.
We have green peas like that, but I've never seen
the big green peas too, but not the green peas. If they're in a can, I have to heat them up. I can't. Yeah, I don't like to have those. The only thing that I'll have from a can to the mouth, believe it or not, is Campbell's beans
and cranberry sauce.
Because I used to be a cowboy, and I used to be, on the trail, singing Yippee-ki-yay-ki-oh, and you have always had the can of the beans, right?
Oh my God. What's Mama cooking? Ham, candied sweet potatoes with broccolini and dinner rolls. Sounds fantastic. And the cupcakes.
What's Mama's cooking's name? Do you know?
Wait a second. Let's answer this. Joe Ascioni wants to know, do you think the lockdown works? So here's the thing with the lockdown.
God, what an open question that is.
Well, let's talk about this because a few months after each lockdown, the numbers tend to go down. But, nothing's going to happen. We can't live a normal life until the vaccinations happen. And the head of the COVID vaccination, the head of COVID in Italy came out last couple of days saying he wants to have most people in Italy vaccinated by September. He's hoping by April or May, they'll have it to 500,000. There's been a total of 11 million vaccinated
Out of the 68 million? That's not bad.
out of 60 million,
60
and then
million.
800,000 in Sicily.
What do you
So-
think I should do, folks? I have an appointment for the 20th of this month, April, to get basically what they have, okay, which is Astrazeneca. Astrazeneca?
Yeah.
All right. So my kids are like, don't do it.
I said,
Esther's
don't do
like,
it. Don't
don't
do it.
So I don't know if I should do this Astrazeneca or not, or else just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. So what do you think I should do? I mean, is it safe or is it not safe? Everything I read, it's like, depends on what day of the week it is.
Anne-Marie wants to know if you ate the peeps.
Anne-Marie.
What flavors were there?
Wait a minute.
Root beer
Root beer.
and fruit punch.
Right. Listen, Anne-Marie. First of all, thank you for a wonderful night. Okay, you and Mike are perfect hosts. Number two, yes, I did. I ate the root beer ones, which, by the way, I had never had before. They're very good. And number three, I actually had 5 or 4 of the
M&Ms.
M&Ms, the Easter eggs, the Easter things. Very, very good. A little sweet's not going to hurt you too much, I don't think. But I love you.
It's good for you. Petfield Galfano says vaccinated and flew to California here now with my grandson.
Yeah, you were
Never
ecstatic
complain
yesterday
about
on
any
Facebook.
flight again. Oh, that is so awesome. That is so awesome. All right, let's see. A few more people. Let's talk about the situation after I read Thomas's. Ciao, Thomas.
Hi, Tom.
Easter dinner from Jamestown, New York. Homemade ravioli, arancini, Sicilian Easter savory
Perfect.
pie, cannoli, and nut Italian chocolate orange torte. No fasting here. Bravo.
I fasted yesterday, and I also observed my 3 hours of silence like I did when I was a kid. And I read the Passion of Christ for Good Friday in my small little missal that I've had my whole life. And I like to read it every year. And I sit outside and I read it. And then about an hour later, her and I started yelling at each other. She called me a hypocrite. She called me a hypocrite. You just were praying an hour and a half ago. Now you're yelling. Then I realized, my God, she's right. I am a hypocrite.
This is a
so
very
what? I'm a
good
lawyer.
advice.
Lawyers
Angelo,
are hypocrites. What?
Angelo, this is great advice. I think you should ask your doctor for medical advice. Bravo. Hey, guess
You know,
who?
you're right,
Esther,
Angela. You're exactly
Esther
right.
from Chefaloo, our
Ciao, Esther.
good friend and local guide from Chefaloo is here. So happy
Wait a minute.
to
Don't you have
see
to make
her.
an announcement about Chef Lou?
What?
Oh, you don't? No, that's Anna.
That's Anna.
Same
All right.
country.
All right. So, okay. Esther is Hungarian and Sicilian. Esther, I want to know what you're going to do for Easter.
Is that that's not our Esther?
That's our Esther.
Well, what's that funny
Pat
look that she has?
Galfano, I was bummed to learn peeps are not vegetarian, contains gelatin. My grandson.
Yeah, that's right. You're
Wow,
correct.
I didn't know
You're right,
that.
Pat.
I didn't know that.
They came out with Pepsi did a deal now with Peeps. There's a marshmallow flavored soft drink with Peeps. They
Whoa.
have Peeps. They have Peeps all over the place now. So that means that next year I don't want any more Peeps. I'm gonna pick out something else new. And you know what my son Matthew does with them? He puts them in the microwave.
What?
And he watches them explode. That's what he does. He will never eat it.
That's nuts.
That's what he does.
You know what I want
nukes
to
'em.
tell everyone too that is happening that I haven't written about yet on our site is that so they're vaccinating right now the elderly, also the frontline workers, right, the doctors and so forth. And the union that represents the supermarket workers are going to be striking this weekend because they asked to be put on that list to get vaccinated first. And I 100% agree with them. Even during our first lockdown, those men and women were there every day, even with extended hours, not a break, working, including Sunday. So they're going to be striking. So a few supermarkets here in Sicily will be closed.
I
agree
really
with them
support.
100%.
I really support a strike. Honestly, my attitude has always been, ciao, see you later. You don't want to work. But in this case, I support 1,000% that those people are every much as heroes. They kept all the food flowing. And also, by the way, the truck drivers, the long distance haulers who brought stuff in from the mainland, crossed over the strait, brought it all over Sicily. Believe me when I tell you, we were not. There hasn't been any shortages. Am I
Of
right?
anything, no. Yeah.
There's been no
And
toilet paper
imagine the
shortages or any of that
stress.
stuff.
Imagine the stress, including at the beginning. And when I used to go to the supermarket maybe once or twice a week during the initial lockdown last year, I saw the fear in their eyes because they're being exposed to all these people coming in and out. Who knows who has COVID? And I made it a point every single time that I go to one of those supermarkets, I thank them.
Yes.
I thank them because they are doing a service
They're making
for us.
$8 an hour, putting their life on the line practically for $8 an hour. It's ridiculous.
John wants to know, do they have meat pie in Sicily?
Scacciata, of course they do.
Now, I'm wondering, John, if you're asking about the American type of meat pie, right? That has the pie and then the minced meat in there.
I don't think
that.
So.
No,
they haven't.
But they do have a scacciata.
It's made from pork. Okay, it's basically a pork pie. They call it scacciata with onions and some other stuff. It's really, really good. It's one of my staples. I like to have it like once a. I used to buy a pie, which is a round thing about 12 inches in diameter, and cut it into 4 pieces. Mm-hmm. And then she would make me one for dinner, and I'd have a salad with it.
John, we did an entire episode
really
on
good.
How to make
we have one
scacciata.
That's right.
Because you have the meat pie, and also you can put vegetables in there. You know, the spinach or the broccoli or cauliflower. Peter Scipolletti, starting 20 varieties of peppers today, including 3 Hungarian type. Can't wait to make some more Hungarian lecho. So good. So
that's good. Peter got the recipe from
I gave him the
it's
lecho.
Good stuff. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, let's see. Tom says my dad made it. So
scacciata.
Good morning, John Brenner. So in any case, the other situation, right, is the big bombshell here in Sicily that some of the numbers, the COVID numbers, including deaths, hospitalizations, and tests were fudged or altered. The head of the Health Council, Ruggero Razza, resigned. At least 7 people are being investigated. It is a mess. It is a disgrace. And my friends are all very embarrassed. Here we go again. Give Sicily a bad name.
What are you going to do?
That's all you have to say? That's all you have to say about that?
All they have to do, like a true Sicilian, is write the number down and put it in your wallet. What's all this writing about? But I think what happened is that they wanted to back up the president, Musumeci, who was hammering for a red zone.
Right.
Remember?
And our numbers weren't, didn't warrant for a red zone, but he kept saying, I want a red zone.
He wanted a red zone.
So the question is, why would they fudge it? Why would they move numbers? And one day there were less deaths or more deaths. They just moved numbers here and there. Why would they do it?
So what happened was 4 guys got busted in Trapani, and the prosecutor on there is a real SOB.
They started listening in on phone calls.
Yeah, they seized their cell phones. They were tapping these 4 guys' calls. This is a criminal matter, by the way.
Yeah.
And then from there, they followed the money, and they went right up, and they grabbed. This guy was a protege of Musumeci. This guy Razza, right? Is that his name, Razza?
Yeah. What a
and it doesn't look good for Musumeci.
He resigned.
No,
Razza resigned. But there are people calling for his resignation. So it's, it's just, my friends are like, why? A handful of people, again, giving all of Sicily a bad name.
If you guys have a chance,
I'm surprised you're not going off a little bit more on this.
I'm not going to go off. Why? Because this stuff happens. But if you want to have a good chuckle, right? On Facebook, become friends with the mayor of Messina. What's that guy's name? DeLuca. This guy. You want
entertainment? Don't worry about not speaking Italian.
He gets in front of the Zoom,
like this, in your face.
I swear to God, he sounds like Mussolini. I mean, Mussolini in terms of bellowing and so forth. He was all over
Musumeci. And this is the way he would. Musumeci. It is. You don't even have to
hilarious.
I couldn't understand half the stuff he was saying, but the way he was, the cadence, slow. Then he picked it up. Then he got excited. Then he went back there.
He's the guy that closed down the strait when all those kids were coming from the north. He says, "Hey, they're all coming over here. Stop." And I think he did some good myself. I think it's good that you have, or else you have guys like Orlando and Palermo who'll put you to sleep. The guy's been there since 1492. I think Columbus dropped him off over there. He's politically entrenched with the whole power structure over there, just in my view. And the city's really a mess. I mean, the garbage situation there is legendary.
Palermo, by the way, is on
probably the worst in Italy.
There are some towns and cities in Sicily that are total lockdown. They're not allowed to leave the house, even to see family or friends. There's about 30 towns.
Now,
I want to say, I want to say this, John. So without truth, we cannot come visit, and Sicily loses as well as all of us. I agree. Trust me, they're on top of this. Trust me, there's people, at least 7 people on house arrest. Heads are rolling. Heads were rolling, and they're still investigating.
This too will end. Okay, it's gonna end. It's not gonna end this month, but I see that by the fall, I think things are gonna be, as soon as the herd thing, whatever that thing kicks in, and 50 million people are inoculated here, and I'm sure the United States is,
moving fast,
whacking people away, and the rest of Germany is as well. They got to loosen up. They have to loosen up. This cannot go on forever.
Yeah.
This new normal, I don't even know what normal is. What's normal? Getting out of the car and reaching for your mask and putting your mask on, and then coming back into the car and taking off your mask and then putting whatever the hell it is that we put. What's that stuff called?
Antibacterial.
Antibacterial all over us. Washing my hands. My hands have shriveled into nothing.
You have beautiful hands.
They were shriveled.
Right,
remember that? Wait a minute. Remember that Marge, the girl that used to put your fingers in the dishwashing solution? It was a commercial. That's how I feel. I'm always washing my. Is that going to be the new normal? I feel bad for the young kids.
Ross says, "Happy Easter. I'm working in the UK healthcare, and 18 million have had the Astrazeneca vaccine. Ask your doctor if you have any." Yes, he does.
Yeah.
I have
2 stents in my heart. The thing about the blood clot scares me.
Great advice. Sue,
we're
going to meet up on 2020. This isn't a surprise. If it's Sicilian, there's a little scandal is involved. I wish it would stop, but I think it's part of the culture.
Jeremy, I agree with you 1,000%. Honestly, that's how it goes. And the other thing I've noticed over here too, as soon as you ascend to power and you have a position of authority, whether it's at the local level or the senatorial level, for the rest of his or her term, they're attacked. They could be best friends before, but as soon as you get that, and you should see the newspapers, the letters to the editor. They're just they're like this long, all right? People bitching and moaning about everything, all right? And these are things that, have gone on for a long time.
Yeah.
Like we have no money, okay?
Andrew Priest says we're having our annual cookies from
Fizzicalis. Which ones are you having? Do you get the pastimanale, the almond cookies with the little cherry on top of them? They have the best ones. Fizzicalis Bakery has the best. They're on Union Street in Lawrence. Good family too. Joe, how are you, brother?
Okay.
How's Sue? Good? And by the way, I have to do a shout out for a guy.
Did you wish? Yeah.
Wait a minute. He never comments.
Who?
I'm gonna explain to you about this guy. He's a very shy man. All right, very, very shy man. And he's like, but he lurches. He like watches all our stuff religiously.
Yeah.
His name, I won't even give you his last name. Mike Miano is his name. And Mary. And I love this guy like a whole bunch. Mary's a doll. And he sent me email this week, says, we diligently watch you, but we never comment. But hey, Mike, how about commenting every once in a while? You're a funny guy. We'd love you.
On that note, if you guys are new over here, subscribe to our channel because we come to you every week talking about Sicily, and we have all types of videos from all over. Literally, we zigzag. I zigzag, then you.
I zig, you zag.
I zig, you zag. We zigzag the island, bringing you the people, places, history, culture of Sicily, right? I want to know what you guys want to know about now in Sicily. Yes.
What's this? This is what you call, only a lawyer can do this. This is what you call
finessing. You want to talk? Wait a second. You want to talk about
Esther, what do you have over there?
So for you, those of you guys who don't know, Alfred has written 4 books on Sicily. And this one?
This
was
one over
the
here
first
is back in
one.
print, and I think this week I sold 24 copies from the Kindle print on demand. I think it's $14.99. You go onto Amazon or Kindle and you order it, and they ship it the same day. But that book was out of stock for I don't know how long, 4 years. We had sold out. Boom. And then the other thing is, some of you people, a lot of you people, by the way, have purchased books. The sale that we're having right now, my other 3 books for $19, I believe it is, including shipping, ends tomorrow. And if you donate $100 to the Sicilian Project or $50 to our GoFundMe, which is listed over here someplace, you get the books for free. And I just do that as an appreciation more than anything else. Right?
You know, we love coming to you guys every single week to talk about one of our favorite topics, Sicily. But we feel like you guys are family, like part of our community. We really appreciate, from the bottom of our hearts, we really, really appreciate you guys and all you do.
We had 65,000 views this month.
Have you ever been to Ribera in Agrigento? No, we have not, but we have a couple of videos from there. Okay, this is such a good question, Helen. Do men wear socks with sandals?
Could I answer that question, please?
Yeah, and
I'm
then
a man. Okay. Listen. Okay.
Now listen.
I have a good friend of mine that I won't mention his name, but I was just recently over his house like 2 days ago. And he came walking out of the house, and he had a nice, beautiful pair of sandals, but he had socks on, okay? So in my mind, I see that, say, in a nice resort area, and I'm thinking 2 words. I'm thinking deportable offense. A deportable offense, okay?
Now, that doesn't mean people inside the house don't do it.
Yeah,
they can do whatever you want.
I think that when you're in a city, okay, let me tell you something. The last 2 weeks we were in Catania for extensive periods of time, right? And I'm outside waiting for her for hours, like sitting on a bench. I'm like watching thousands of people walk by. I didn't see a single Catanese person walk by with sandals or short pants.
Well,
okay?
wait a second.
And the
it's
weather was warm.
Yeah, but Sicilians don't get dressed for the weather. They get dressed for the month.
I don't
it
think
is still
I've ever
technically.
I've never seen a Sicilian wear sandals with socks.
No, that I've never seen that.
Never
but
seen
they
that.
do
Never
wear
seen
short pants and stuff.
In the summertime, they do, but not in the city. In
Right.
the city, when you go in the city for business, they're impeccably dressed. The women are
and the men.
Like,
the
I'm telling you right
from
now,
top to bottom.
even the
shoes,
homeless
the
guys
Italian,
panhandling for money, they have like Armani stuff on. It's unbelievable.
John wants to know your book, alfredzeppelin.com.
Hey, is that John Thomas? Is that my John Tomaselli from Lawrence?
I don't know.
One of the greatest bass guitar players in Massachusetts' history.
Really?
John Tomaselli, legendary.
Pat Greeley says
wait a minute. He's in the B Street Bombers now, but he's a good pal of Carmen's. Yeah, Johnny, you can get those books on alfredzeppelin.com. They're $19, the 3 books. Jennifer ships them from Groveland every Monday or Tuesday. So if you give me an order, that'd be nice. And I love you, Johnny. He and I grew up together.
I didn't know that.
He's a neighborhood kid. Yeah.
Pat really read Joy of My Heart this week. I felt like I was with Al and having conversation, could hear him
Pat,
talking.
I love you. You're so generous to us as well.
The Americans do. They stick out like a sore thumb.
You're right. You know what kills me about the Americans and
Jimmy,
Marie?
no.
Wait a minute. I'm going to just pontificate for 1 second, okay?
Okay.
How rude they are sometimes to the wait staff in restaurants. They think that it's like, they're in New York City in a swanky place. The ugly American tourist. Yeah. Okay? I had a woman one time. I'm not kidding you. We're at Roberto's place. I'll tell you, the same night, the same woman. It was one of those things where you come in and, you're part of the deal. You get the food that is part of the tour package. She comes in and she's looking around like this, like this, like this. And she calls me over. She says, there's no butter on the table for the bread. Oh. And I was like,
I remember that.
Man, this is Sicily. We have olive oil. We don't have butter. But if you want butter, let me see if we have any in the back. And sure enough, I found there some butter, and I gave it to her, and she just glared at me like, what kind of place is this? So after dinner, she came up to me. Well, she called me over to the table. She says, "There's no tea." I says, "Well, usually we don't drink tea. We have tiramisu. You could have an espresso, gelato, granita, something like that.
A little digestive.
Digestive." She says, "I want tea." So I went to the bathroom. I says, "You have any tea?" So he was underneath the cash register, and he found one of those little kit things that you open up, and there's all the different types. Twinings tea is little kits, right? So I brought it over to her, and I opened it up, and she looked, and she said to me, "But there's no decaf tea." So I says, "Well, that's what we have." And then she looked me right in the eye, and she said, "Well," in other words, "why don't you run out and get some for me?" I nearly whacked her with the box, right? I didn't like that. And I've seen that many, many times with people who just want, look, if you're in a foreign country, it's a different culture.
Bend over backwards for you.
You don't have
they
to
will,
act
but
like
you
that.
don't have to be rude. Joya Russo wants to know, do you know a realtor in the city of Palermo that speaks English to help me find an apartment?
No.
I have to look
and
into
watch,
that.
Word to the wise, okay? You remember what Stalin said, trust but check? Okay, trust but verify. Watch out for these realtors.
Yeah.
Okay. They're like, I don't want to say this, but I could. They're like lawyers on steroids. Okay. If their lips are moving, chances are they're lying right through their teeth. Okay. It's not like you have a realtor like Century 21 in the United States where, they do co-broker. Every town, they have their own real estate agencies, typically speaking. Now, Century 21 has recently come into
Remax too.
and Remax too, but typically it's very territorial, and these guys are in cahoots with the big landlords in the town. They're in cahoots with the notaries in the town, and it's just watch yourself. If you're going to buy a place, or even if you're going to rent a place, hire a lawyer.
For sure. Anything.
Okay.
For anything.
Hire a lawyer to represent your interest, or else you'll get fleeced. All right.
Janet Lombardi from England. Are shorts frowned upon in Sicily or around towns? In small towns, I wouldn't wear them. In the cities, okay, there's a lot of tourists. Everyone's wearing whatever. But I would wait a second.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't wear them in the small towns. You have people looking at you. You don't want to stick out. You don't want to stick out.
Beach areas, that's a different story.
Beach
areas is a different story.
So that's my opinion. You're already going to be loud American, or I don't want to say that about the English people, but you're going to be a foreigner. They're going to hear that you're speaking a foreign language.
Like I said, all the beach areas, it's permissible to wear flip-flops and shorts,
the beach,
like
the cities.
The farther you go into Sicily, the center of Sicily, the surrounding
areas, smaller towns,
you have to understand that those people, their whole existence sometimes is in that town or
city.
A little bit outside of that town. And they're very suspicious. They don't have the proper exposure to outsiders as perhaps we do, like in England, or we do in the United States. So the answer is,
what do they say? When in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Yeah,
right? So
that's correct.
What I usually do is I wear very thin pants, like very nice light pants, or a skirt, because it does get really, really warm.
So are you talking about
Helen? I agree with you 100%.
Who says that? Oh, you do?
Yes. Okay, Joya. Contact us later.
That's right. Helen,
John,
I agree with. If you don't like the customs of a foreign
100%.
country, you should stay home.
John, www.alfredzappala.com. I will leave you a link when we're done with the show. I'll leave you a link in the comments or in the chats, or just message me, Esther Vida or Alfred Zappala on Facebook.
Johnny is he's a good pal of my brother. Everybody that I know from the neighborhood, Johnny knows, without a doubt.
Okay. All right. So let's see. What else did we have to talk about? The foods. Huh.
Johnny, go to my website.
I just told him.
Okay.
I just told him. Let me just see here.
John Owens.
John Owens. Wow. Hold on. Why didn't you tell me about the shorts? I wore them every day last year. Yeah, but it's okay, Pat. We didn't. You didn't wear them in the small towns. Outside in the city of Catania, I also wear them in there. Plus, I believe, did we go to any? No.
Where?
No. Even when we went to the vineyard, Pat was on one of our tours. I didn't think you wore shorts, but I may not remember.
If you're gonna wear plaids, listen to me. Okay? If you're gonna wear shorts, plaids. Don't be one of those people that wear plaid pants, shorts, and then a plaid shirt.
With a pink.
For heaven's sakes, have
no
a little
pink
bit of
shirts. No pink.
I like pink shirts. I don't. But I mean, just don't be such a
John
dorky
Owens
tourist.
has been one of our supporters
Happy
since the very first video that we
John
did.
Owens is the former president of the Sicilian Project, Esther. Me, John Owens, and Giovanni Lanza at its inception. He was with us for a long time. He's the, what do you call it, president emeritus of the Sicilian Project, and he's a generous benefactor to the Sicilian Project, to us for what we do.
Sicily, yeah.
He's a great guy. John, I hope you're feeling good. We love you. We miss you, and come on over here, will you please?
Soon,
love
soon,
you, brother.
soon.
And happy Easter.
Bortolo says, Buona Pasqua from Marina di Ragusa. We love Marina di Ragusa. We did an entire episode on Ragusa and Modica, too.
I just recommended someone to go to the beach there. I think the beaches of the Marina di Ragusa are beautiful.
John, that's funny.
What does he say?
He wears shorts and sandals and socks and almost arrested. Yeah.
Rome is a different story. Holy smokes. Rome is like the next to Milano, I would say, and maybe Venice, but Rome especially. Those
Florence.
People get dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
They get dressed to the nines.
I got to tell you, the dressing in downtown Catania, and we were in...
It's very good. It's the best in Sicily.
We were, not in the touristy area. We were near the Hall of Justice, where the Carabinieri, the police, are sent. And like I mentioned before, from head to toe, men and women were dressed impeccably, and tight, tight tailored pants. And I'm still, like I said before,
you like
I'm
that?
stunned.
Huh? You like those tight pants, huh, Bonsta? She likes the tight pants on guys. Can you imagine that?
And the woman, how do they get around with those heels? I don't know.
My law partner, Massimo, is a handsome man, okay? Very, very handsome man. And he's always dressed to the nines. And one time, him and I went to Milano on business. And we were walking down the major street over there, whatever it's called. And he was stopped, and he was asked if he was a model, okay? A male model, right? And he kind of brightened up. So... here I have my Eddie Bauer shirt on and stuff like this. I says, well, why do you say that? He says, well, look at this man. He's impeccably dressed. And that's pretty much the story with the lawyers in town, with the look at his, Anna Privatera, his wife, always professionally dressed. Always.
What is it? How's it called in Sicilian? Figubeddu?
No, Bella Figura.
Bella Figura.
Bella Figura.
Is
Bella Figura essentially is a concept where people, even if they don't have any money in the bank, they wear their pride, it's on their bodies.
There's this woman, for some reason, an elderly woman I always run into in the supermarket. Her hair is always perfect. Her nails are always perfect. I would say she's like 80, 90.
How old is she?
Like 89. I mean, she has a cane. And her nails are always done. She's got a beautiful skirt on always with tights and nice shoes. I mean, every single time. They really, really take pride in their appearance here.
I never saw my grandfather, Alfio Zappola, without every night that him and my grandmother would come over our house, walk 2 blocks from where their apartment was to our house. So my grandmother can iron my mom's and the kids' clothes for a couple hours. That man came over every night of the week with a white shirt on and a suit, a jacket and a tie, and a fedora cap, right? And this man worked by the time he was old. He was a night watchman. And before that, he worked as a pasta maker for Prince Spaghetti. But that man and all his friends,
my grandfather,
all those old timers.
Yeah, and you can see
God
it
rest
here,
their souls.
Right? You can see it here. All the men sitting on the benches, they're beautifully dressed. So it's nice to see. Gina says, I was always told by my Italian family not to speak English when going into stores. The price would go up. Is that still the same?
Yes.
Yeah, if you're, I mean,
Well, I mean, not the major stores.
Not the major. I mean, maybe not everyone is going to rip you off.
Listen, they have price tags on the stuff just like they do in the United States. But I know what you mean. For example, you go into an art gallery where the price is a lot different than, there's a lot of room to negotiate for quadro, as they're called. Watch out for things like that. One-of-a-kind things have a lot of negotiations. She said when that bookseller that she went to in Catania, I was telling my brother Tommy.
It was originally 15. He sold it to me for 8.
You see what I'm saying? He has them $15,
yep.
Selling them for 8. They
yeah,
have all sorts of books
and
there.
This is the book, in case you're joining us late. This is the book. It's in Italian and has all kinds of pictures and things.
But there's so many of these books that you go to any one of the junk tourist shops in Catania, Palermo, Sheffield.
Yeah.
They always have a whole rack full of these books, and they're beautiful books. I mean, Rome has them.
But
too.
not so about the pricing, Janet. No, but there are some scumbags, like there are everywhere. Period.
What are you gonna do?
When in a foreign country, you should not assume that people speak English, and especially here in Sicily, right back. More self.
Yeah, Pat. Again, you're right. Pat's on a roll today, huh?
She's always on a roll. Trust me. During summer, khakis and
those are nice.
Sport shirts.
Yeah,
they are. Yes. Okay.
Cockies. Cockies are a good go-to thing. People can wear those. The dress cockies, right?
Oh, Jan, it's so funny. If you want a night out looking for tight pants, wait till you. Okay, sounds good. Okay,
oh
how's
God,
the local
yes.
vino? How's the local vino? Sfuso? I don't know.
I don't know
what Sfuso is, but local vino, Nero d'Avola, the Grillo. Nero d'Avola is like the most popular
Fuso,
red wine.
I don't know what
Sfuso is, but Grillo, Insolia is also very good. And now the Etna Rossos are gaining a lot of popularity. In fact, the Etna wines are one of our stops on our tours. Thank you, Joseph. I'm a new subscriber. Chats are so informative. Oops, sorry, honey.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Hey, some guy asked a question on the last one about. He says, Al, the tips video was excellent. He says, I just have to get you away from smoking Italian cigars, your stogies, to a nice Cuban cigar. Well, I can't remember the guy's name, but let me tell you something. In my room, I have a humidor full of Cuban cigars, which, by the way, I smoke. Okay, not a lot. It's a good 30-minute smoke. I prefer the Monte Cristo No. 4. They're not too big, but I smoke these. Okay, the Toscanellos, and the reason I smoke them is because they're €5 and you get 5 cigars, so that's €1 a cigar. And I'm forever smoking like 7 or 8 puffs, which I do not inhale, and I throw them away. But I'm like, I just
it's for the look.
Have a what's it called? Oral fixation to have something in my mouth.
GP, what is the name of the city known for the ceramics? I want to wash. Wait a second. So the name of the video, I believe I have it as Sicilian ceramics, and I talk about the ceramics from Santo Stefano di Camastra, the ceramics from Sciacca, and the ceramics from Caltagirone. So if you go on our playlist,
is what we
we featured all 3 in the episode called Sicilian Ceramics. So when you're done with this, go to our channel, go to our videos, and hit search. Put in Sicilian Ceramics, you meet in Sicily.
Anne-Marie Watt has a set of the dishware ceramics, right? That
beautiful one.
She bought 20.
Mike bought.
Mike, excuse me. 20 years ago, she told me the first time that they were here, because they were on Sigonella, and she went back to and then she brought them back here, and she's been looking to go back to the shop where they bought them, but because of the COVID, she didn't know whether she was. So I asked her. I says, well, are they good? Do you like them? She says, Alfred, they're just. Number one, they're indestructible. We just love them. Look at them. They look brand new. After 20 years, these ceramic pieces look good.
John Owens, thank you. Communications from rural Florida is difficult. Took me 36 minutes to get signed in. I still keep track, just weeks behind as usual.
John, can you do me a favor? Can you send me your home address?
Okay. Did I see Rosanna? Ciao, Rosanna is here. Now is a good time to
Rosanna Donna.
Was that we have a new olive grove. You know, we have the Project Olive Memorial where you can plant a tree here, a baby tree here, in memory of someone or as a gift or anything like that. And our new grove is in Enna.
So we also have
In
a new one too.
Piazza Armerina. And by the way, if you buy one of those, when you come here to Sicily, you can go visit your olive tree.
So it's in Piazza Armerina?
Yeah, right outside.
And then you also have one in Agrigento? Am I wrong?
We have one in Sheffield Diana,
in
which
Palermo.
is in the province of Palermo,
yeah.
and Montedoro in the province of Caltanissetta.
Okay, so we're kind of like really getting a lot of glows.
So Rosanna, it's Rosanna's cousin. Now, I missed that whole thing about the wine. It says bottled, not bottled. So I'm not sure what you guys mean. The city said, the last city you said ceramics, Gina. It is Caltagirone in the province of Catania. Caltagirone.
Santa Stefano di Camastra and Sciacca. Those are three great.
Riccardo, ciao. I'm from Puglia. No, Perugia in Umbria. When you come here, it's a beautiful region.
I've been there. I went to, what's the name of that? There's a beautiful church there, a Renaissance church that has stripes going horizontally and vertically. I think it's a 14th century church. I toured that town. It's a beautiful area. Umbria is beautiful. Anne Marie said, even though we got to spend Thursday with you two and spend Easter together, we missed spending time with you tomorrow.
Yeah. What are you guys doing? What's everyone doing tomorrow? If you're watching this on the replay, we are airing this on Saturday, and tomorrow is Pasqua.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite. This is really my favorite holiday, I would say.
And then Monday too, we have a holiday, right?
Yeah, we have Little Easter. Here is a holiday. Usually here in Sicily is a big time in Italy to barbecue with friends, get together with not family, mostly friends. And you know, earlier I was telling you about the situation here. I mean, they've got helicopters, drones, parks and villas have been shut down all over Sicily to make sure that people don't congregate.
Listen, I want to say one thing here, okay? I'm from the city of Lawrence, as you all know, and we have guys in my neighborhood. When we used to see the cops, we used to kind of go across the street the other way because if they ever caught up to us, they'd whack us. In those days, we got whacked all the time, okay? So in my brain, I have like a thing for authority.
Well, you're Sicilian.
No, yes, I am Sicilian, but I'm a Lawrence Sicilian, which is even triple worse. Seriously.
Remember our friend Gaetano wrote about that. I'll never forget. He wrote this book called What It Means to Be a Sicilian. And he spoke about this fear.
Distrust for the police because they were the muscle for the local occupier at the time.
And
but yesterday,
it makes sense.
Driving on these small little roads back from Anne Marie's house and literally seeing, police officers with a sign that says halt, like, every couple of miles, and me just like staring straight ahead, like trying to ignore them. I got that feeling like of a little fuzziness of like when I was driving as a kid, smoking a joint on 93 coming down the highway and the stadies would come up with the black and white, with the blue and white light. Yeah. I got a little bit anxious.
Yeah.
I didn't like that feeling.
I saw someone here. I'm sorry if I missed it. Oh, yes. Your church. Okay. So this is remarkable. I forgot to tell you guys this about
Eastern Massachusetts
churches, Alfred. Easter Mass.
I don't know.
Easter Mass. So this is remarkable. So Sicily is the first one in Italy to be giving vaccinations in 300 churches across Sicily today and tomorrow. Fantastic, right? 5,000 people, around 5,000 people, I think, have already signed up, but you have to fall into that certain age bracket, 70 and over. You have to be a parishioner. You have to be a parishioner. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that is a great thing that they're doing. So, yes, the answer is our Easter Mass is happening.
I wish they would just vaccinate all the kids, the teenagers, the kids in the 20s and the 30s. They're the ones that keeps on spreading it. Everybody my age pretty much abides by the rules and regulations. It's the other idiots that don't. Yeah. My opinion.
No, everyone in the front line.
Jimmy, it's mine too.
Yeah.
Today is that day. Can I just talk for a second here? Yesterday was a black day. The forces of evil won. Okay. Now Jesus today, according to the scriptures, he's in hell. And what is he doing in hell or purgatory? He's bringing with him all the souls to bring him to heaven. He's collecting all the souls in purgatory, those that, if you believe Christian lore, which I happen to do. And tomorrow tonight at midnight or 6 o'clock in the morning, he'll rise from the dead. So it's a transitional holiday from being bummed out. Like I'm always bummed out on Good Friday.
Black.
Okay.
Yeah.
Black, the forces of evil. They won the day. But Jesus kind of gets off the deck, so to speak, and then he comes again, so to speak, on Easter. Now, what's very surprising about the Easter holidays is that if you study Egyptian mythology and you talk about the gal, whatever her name is there, I want to say Isis, but it's not Isis, it's something like that. Her son was killed, and she went to hell for 3 days to get him and brought him back to life. I used to have this Egyptian parchment that told me all the story about this. And remembering that Mary and Joseph and Jesus of Nazareth were in Egypt, and that the Coptic Christians of Egypt are older than the Christian church, the interrelationship between the Coptics, the Catholic cult, and the Greek cult are profoundly different. It's a very interesting thing to study about. Very interesting. Yes, it is, Joe. It is.
It's a great message. Okay. On that note, you guys.
What else?
What do you guys want to hear more about? We're here for another 3 minutes. Let's talk about some Easter foods that are very typical here. Of course, lamb. And then pasta con sarde, right? Which is.
Will you please tell them what you cooked for me today?
Oh. So
something new, something old,
new. So I got
blue. Good.
So I got this frozen mussels. What else was vongole, right? And calamari.
Frozen.
Big mistake. Why would I do that? Right? We have fresh, right? So I stir fried it with some rice.
She was going to make something delicious stir fried, okay? But it didn't come out. It came out okay. Am I correct?
It came out okay.
So we decided that
that's okay. Listen, you have to buy fresh fish here.
Right.
That's it. That's it.
Right.
John, that's it. Listen, that's a good question. Do you know any of the towns that will have a big Easter celebration next month? Piana del Albanese is one of them. Mezzogiusto is one of them. But of course, it's going to be very different than usual. And in fact, in the episode that we did on Piana del Albanese in the province of Palermo, we showed you some of the beautiful traditional costumes that the men and women wear during the Greek Easter celebration.
And Anna, we showed him on the Anna piece. We showed him the Good Friday thing too.
Yeah,
it's a great holiday.
Heard the name Easter comes from a Babylonian queen named Ishtar.
Yeah, Ishtar,
who claimed to have given birth to the Savior.
I don't know there's a lot of stories. I don't know. I mean, I believe what I believe, and that's it.
Jim says the catacombs in Syracuse has crypts with Egyptian symbolism.
Yes, they do.
Fascinating. Yeah. And then the elephant in Catania, right, has that piece of Egyptian. What is it called? Up top from the big elephant in the Piazza Duomo. There's a name from it. There's a piece that came from Egypt.
Well, all the obelisks, they're called obelisks. All the obelisks came from Egypt during the era of the Roman era, Cleopatra and all that stuff. And what the Roman generals did was they, put the story of the victorious battles over there.
In Piazza Marina in the Villa Romana, they also have depictions during the Egyptian times. So some of the pictures over there, like Egyptian animals and things that they brought over during the Roman times. You're right.
Did you ever stop and think about that? The Alexandria Library in Alexandria, Egypt, which has disappeared
Obelisk.
off the face of the earth because the water came in from the Mediterranean and it's underwater. That held almost all of humankind's knowledge up until that time. We don't know enough about ancient Egypt. We don't, okay? But that was like the Mecca. I mean, stop and think about these pharaohs, making these pyramids and so forth, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years ago, when Sicily was just, I don't know what, it was covered by goats then, I guess. There wasn't too many people here. The Sicklers were here, and that's about it. It's all related, folks. It's all related.
It's all related. On that note, friends, family, and new fans, welcome to our channel. Hope you can join us again. We hope you guys have an incredible Buona Pasqua and Happy Easter from Esther.